Right guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. Today we've got Szymon in the chair. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, you?
Good, yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. So, what are we doing today? What's the
plan? I've been growing out my hair.
Okay.
And it's a bit too long. Like when I wear a hat, it like sticks out the sides.
Okay.
So I have a picture of like...
Yeah, show me, yeah.
I was thinking something like this. Or
okay.
Like similar to this.
Okay.
How like on the sides it's shorter.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit longer towards the back, like in this shot.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
See, like,
oh, okay, yeah. So a bit like it's a bit of a kind of mullet-esque kind of haircut, but it's not at the same time. It's a bit more of it's just what we class as probably a taper on the sides. The only thing is his hair's a bit different to your texture, okay? Because he's got darker hair, so when you go short on the sides, if we weren't quite short on yours, it'd be more noticeable than what it would be on his. Because if you look at that, it's not really that noticeable, the sides being tapered. It is, but it isn't, you know, it's quite subtle. I don't know whether it would be as subtle on yours because your hair's blonde. So the shorter you go on the sides of yours, the lighter it becomes. Do you know what I mean? Also, his hair seems a lot straighter than what yours is. So I don't know whether you get that kind of slightly more smarter finish on the top. I think yours might be a little bit more lived in. I would imagine if you went, well, unless you went quite short, I would say. So as long as you know that, we can still do something along the lines of this haircut. But I just want to make you aware that it might not look identical to that. If you get what I mean.
I'm fine with that. I just like this similar style.
And what I'd probably do on yours then is we'd probably just do loads of freehand on the back and sides. So I'd probably just taper it freehand with a comb and a clipper, because I don't know what guard would be used to create the same effect on him on your hair, because I've never cut your hair before. So I think what we'd do is we'd just go down and down and down until it gets to that, so they look similar. Is that all right? Yeah. And with the neckline at the back, what we'd probably have to do is something similar to his, where we kind of make it quite neat. So it'd be quite slightly blunt on the neckline of yours here, which isn't too bad, because, to be honest, because your hair grows outwards more than inwards, so that's good. His hair grows inwards. So I think if we did something similar to that, you'd see the contrast a bit more. But good bringing in a picture. Because again, honestly, if you don't know what you want, just try and find a picture. So what you've done there is brilliant for me. Okay. So thanks for that, man. All right, cool. Sweet. Yeah, as you saw, guys, it's consultations like this are so more beneficial for me and barbers and everything else, that it does make it a lot easier. Because before we actually started filming, Szymon was like, I'm not too sure what to ask for, so I was like, well, tell me on camera so then we can kind of talk about it. But it's funny because I think you were probably overthinking it a bit more than what you actually, because that was a really easy consultation. So I think by bringing a photo, if you're not sure, if you're like Szymon and you're not sure what you want, or you don't know how to explain it, try and find something online that can just give us a little bit of a bit more of a kind of guide on where you want to go to. So yeah, but yeah, well, I'll do my best to replicate that as best as possible for you, mate. Okay. All right, man, cool. Well, what we're going to do is shampoo and condition it first, and then we're going to get cracking on the back and sides to start with. All right? Cool. Right, guys, so I've just shampooed and conditioned Szymon's hair. Now, if you notice on that picture, it's a lot shorter on the back, longer on the top, and the sides are shorter. So I'm going to cut palm to palm on the back and sides, and then I'm going to add the taper in as we get going. So I'm not going to put the taper in first and then try and blend out the taper. I'm going to add the taper in after I've got the shape on the back and sides that I want first, because I feel like that's the foundation that we need to put in to this haircut. We need that back to still have movement and some sort of like darkness to the hair, to the head, because if you think about the top kind of blending into the back, it's got a very kind of flat shape. So we want to kind of recreate that as best we can. And then I'll add the taper in to bring out the back and sides a bit more. So I'm going to start with a horseshoe to separate the back and sides to the top. I'm going to cut this in first to start with. So you've got a heart-shaped face, if you didn't know. That's a good. I think what you've picked is a good look for that as well. I think shorter, especially on the sides, straight on, will look nice. With a heart-shaped face, it's always nice to build up some corner and some weight through here. So tapering that out and leaving some length everywhere else is quite nice for you as well. All right. Okay. The way you got that is, I'll show you how. So the way you do it is you just draw it on the face, okay? So it's got a bit of a point there, it comes up and around and into a point. So you imagine you're drawing a heart, okay? So you just said then as we were shampooing, I don't know if you got it on camera, Liam, but you said you've grown this off from a buzz cut, right? Yeah. And you got the sides and the back cut. Wow. It's pretty impressive, that, man. But how have you found the growing phase then?
I quite like the longer hair. I think it looks good.
It suits you. Yeah, it suits you, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Back and sides, I'm going to start off as I would do normally, working through here, right? So I'm going to do on the sides here, I'm going to do a 1 finger width section. And as we get to behind the ear, it moves to 2 fingers, because we'll keep more length at the back, okay? So I'm picking a length that I think works, okay? This is just my own intuition that I'm using now, that I think will still work for the taper, okay? Because I always try and leave more length on there than sometimes I need to, because it gives me room for error. It gives me room to maybe change it around as well if I need to. I can always go shorter. I think the joke that we always have in this job is that you can always take more hair off, you can't put it back on, right? And that is essentially what I always try and work towards. If I can leave more on, I will, because in that way I've got more room to play around with. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm going to move on to 2 finger width now. As you can see, pull it out, the same guide. I'm not looking to add a taper into the neck. That's the one thing about this haircut, is the taper's only on the sides, it's not on the neck. And I think the thing that creates it makes it become more of a taper haircut than a mullet, is the fact that we sharpen the edges off down the bottom. So if that's what you're trying to differentiate from a mullet to something like a taper, is just make sure you get the edges lined out basically. And that's what will keep it looking like less mullety and more of a taper haircut. So hopefully from this side now you'll start to see on the camera, you'll start to see what we're trying to create. So imagine that gets tapered, that gets left, we line that out, it's pretty much the same haircut. This is my last 2 finger width section now. I'll move on to 1 finger. And I'll start to graduate it shorter on the sides to help us with that taper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to texturize the back and sides. I'm going to use the razor for that to get like loads of texture, because it looks like there's a lot of movement in there. And then we'll work on the taper. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this like slide, basically like slide cutting. Comb this around this way. I'm going to slide through with the razor like this. I'll force different bits of direction in the haircut, right? Bring it all the way around. Same thing again. Slide the razor through. Slide down through like that. And then this way as well. Let's get that moving. So yeah, lovely bit of texture to there. Nice and quick, nice and easy. Now, I'm going to dry it off and work on the taper, because I'm working with clippers. I'm going to dry the hair off. Look how much that's moving about now through there. Freehand clipper work now on the back and sides. So I'm going to work down from my guide up here. I'm going to graduate this shorter through here as well. So close guard on a 0, and I'm going to work on this angle as well, like that, okay? I'm just going to work right down until I start to see some scalp exposure. Put it to an open blade. I'm going to work up and off. So I'm essentially doing this down to like a 2 or a 3 in length, I would say. Maybe a 4. I'll put the line in on the ear first. Go a touch shorter at the trimmer. Again, like you were saying, the contrast is different because of how dark his hair was. So So you really see that, like almost like scalp exposure, where to see that on Szymon's, it would have to be really short. And what I'll do is I'm going to take the edges away and I'm going to line it out at this length. Okay, and that's what's going to give you that kind of more blocky, kind of sharper finish around the neckline, like the picture. Okay. I'm just going to take away some of the longer length down the bottom here. I'm going to straighten this as well. Yeah. So you can see if you turn it to the sides there like that, the haircut's starting to come in now, starting to evolve into that haircut. Still bits we're going to work on, but it's still evolving into that haircut now. An image is always good for a taper as well, because again, I have a couple of understandings of what taper means, probably just because I've been around a bit longer than some people. Now I have to do this to the neckline, because the picture looks like that, but also if I did go shorter on the neckline, the taper would be exposed as like a taper, which I don't want. I want it to be quite clean. Otherwise the sides aren't going to be as powerful in this haircut, you know. So same kind of length on top for you, yeah? I kind of like still move it around and whatnot, yeah? Cool, mate. We'll start by connecting in the top horizontally. Keep this coming straight across. Now don't forget, because we've done the taper on an angle, I don't want to follow the same guide, because it would take it too short at the front. So if I was to follow this guide underneath here, it would be on this angle. So we'd be building up more weight here and taking more off the front, which we don't want to. So that's why I started at the ear, where it was the kind of like in between both lengths, and kept it nice and straight across. So you've got a slight overhang on that side bit there, but his hair's coming back, so it'll blend in perfectly. We're going to pull this down now into that previous section. We're bringing this right down to the previous section, so we're maintaining more length as we get higher up. I just don't want that kind of bit of movement, that little bit of flow that's going through the top of that haircut on the picture. And while I'm here, I'm cutting to this bit here. Just an outer touch as well. Now continuing on into the top now. This is a section just before the centre. Again, I'm dropping everything down to that first original section. As you can see, we're directing everything, so it's getting longer and longer through the middle. Starting from above the ear as our guide. There you go. Right, last section now. So I'm going to take the top down a touch as well to make it easier to style. Alright, so you got that better hold and whatever else. So I'm going to take about that much off. And I'm going to work on connecting this top into the back, like so. Just the angle that I'm working at. Maintain some height through here, basically like the picture. The front, balance out the front there. And need to keep more length in that front, so just stand up and fall back. Both different parts. Right, got the razor in here now. Let's give it a nice bit of lift and a bit of shape and break it all up, thin it out, etc. etc. A root lift, a bit of collapse from the bottom as well. You can see I'm starting from halfway up. So collapse towards the crown, lift more towards the front, so you look at that. Got a nice bit more lift and volume in there now than you would have had. It's quite deep cutting now as well. And show a little bit towards the front, not too close to the loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point cut into the back. Speed that up even more, point cut into this bit here, and then I'm going to dry off and start it for you. Alright buddy? Really add the texture into the back. So you up into the crown, work that up as well, let the hair fall into the scissor. So it cuts it on a really crazy angle that it's very hard to replicate with your fingers. And through this bit here, looking up into that taper. Point cutting into that. Just break up that blunt finish that we did to put the shape in. And really thin that out as well. There we go, buddy. Right, so to start this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some salt spray in this. I'm going to use a paddle brush to start to straighten this out a little bit more. So start off from the back, high speed, medium heat, trim and pull it out and smooth out the hair. Don't forget, you showed me a very styled photo, you have to give you a very styled finish. Alright? Smooth it out. Just pinch at the hair. You can see you've got more wave like the picture now than you have of curl that you had when you came in with. I think he's got a slightly wet look in his hair, but I don't know if that would work well for your colour hair. So I'm using dry paste, okay? So roughly about that much, 10p piece size or something like that, right? I'm going to start by putting a little bit in the back first, okay? So just rub your hands through, into your fingertips, and just do this. Just to get some product in the back. The main focus is the top, all right? Now, starting from the front into the sides, we want to work this into the hair. Okay, this is application. Okay, this isn't starting yet. This is all about application. we want to get that stuck in because it's a very messy haircut, okay? And then work it into the back, then into the sides. You've got a slight more wave in your hair than he has, but I'd still go with it, and then it can look more textured and messy. And just twist bits around, let bits fall out, let bits stand up, drop. Don't be precious with it, just let it go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go, mate. Well, that is my take on what you showed me, based on what we had to work with.
It looks good.
Looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do either, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get used to a paddle brush, and that helps an awful lot. Just practice, okay? Just a bit of practice. Put it in, twist it, up. In, twist, up. Okay? That's all you need to do, really. And then it will just take a couple of weeks getting used to, and then you'll be a pro in no time, mate, I tell you. There we go. And take a look at your hair.
Yeah, that looks good.
So you've got that same kind of idea of where the sides are tapered in. Have you seen that side? The sides are tapered in, you've got the length of the back. So it's basically the kind of same, you know what I mean? You've got the taper in the sides, all that kind of messiness to the top, and then the back is still got length in it, but it's just not as long as everywhere else.
Thanks.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing, man, amazing. Thank you so much, mate, that looks great.